Today we're doing the second half of the Pokemon set. And I will just tell you guys up front, I'm not at all happy with how it came out, but we're going to go for it. Starting off with the same medium length oval nails, and this background is what I was kind of shooting for. It's kind of not what I got, but this lighter side is what I kind of was hoping for. So let's go here. We're going to do the background of these the same way we did the blue ones, meaning we're going to be using 3 colors. We're going to be doing 2 colors at first, the dark and the medium. I'm starting off with the medium. We also have a mixed bag of polishes for this set as well, which I'm sure you guys are getting used to by now. Then the dark, and then we're going to lightly sponge this. This is just a cheap makeup sponge that I got a whole bag of these at the 99-cent store several years ago, and I barely have used any of them. But there we go. And I'm going to now go in. We're going to use a gray for the lightest color. Oops, now I got pink all over my gloves. See, that's why I wear gloves, or that would have been on my finger. And we're just going to put this in. I try to put it where there's already little light sections. Just lightly, lightly sponge that down. And there we go. I'm going to show you one more. This one's going to be sped up, which reminds me I have sped almost this entire video up to double time. And it's still going to be nearly an hour. So buckle up. Here we go again. This is the only other one I'm going to show you, and the rest I'll do off camera because they're all exactly the same. Okay, now I've done all those. I've cured them, and now we're going in for the second coat, which I will show you the same 2 nails but sped up. Now the end of this sponge, from the last time I used this for the blue ones, all I did was cut the end of it off. And then I have clean sponge to go and use more, and I did that at the end of this set, and I have a shorter one, but it's still usable. So yeah, don't waste stuff you don't need to. At least for me, I always I don't waste anything if I can help it, because you know, stuff costs money, which I'm sorely lacking lately, as are we all, I'm sure. Okay, those are all cured now, and moving on. This is the Wigglytuff that I'm going to start with. I realize he's on a yellow background, but we're not doing it that way. Okay, and I'm using this mud gel as my to make my guidelines. I will be using this color later on, which is why I'm using this and not the brown that I used on the last one, the last set of these. Now, believe it or not, this is sped up, but I'm just going to get my guidelines on here so I kind of know where I'm going with things. Now, this set is going to have 3 Pokemon instead of 2 because, as my Pokemon expert informed me, the Jigglypuff has 3 evolutions. There's a baby one that is called Igglybuff, which we'll get to. That'll be the very last one I do. And then there's the Jigglypuff, and then there's this one, which is the Wigglytuff. This is the last evolution. I'm also going to include the moonstone that it takes for them to evolve, along with some music notes, because they often use the sing attack as their attack. That puts you to sleep. Okay. And now you've had your Pokemon lesson for the day, which I'm sure you guys don't care about. But now you know. Now we're just going to fill this whole thing in. Since he's pretty much all one color, we're going to fill this all in with the lightest pink. Now, why I'm struggling to do this with my detailer brush when I could have just used my bottle brush, which you're going to see me as I get closer to the end pull my bottle brush out to use for this whole middle part of the body where it's big. instead of struggling with this little teeny tiny brush. Oh Lord. It is so hot in here, you guys. It's only the beginning of summer and I am so sweaty. It's been in high 90s today. Tomorrow's supposed to be 98 again. Ugh. It does not bode well for doing nails in here in this room, I gotta say. Okay, now that I've got a decent amount of polish on there, I'm just going to finish filling these in. And then we're going to cure that, and now he's cured. Now we're going in with the second coat. Now this time I finally got smart and used the big brush for the middle. We're just going to give him a second coat, and then we will cure him again. And this is going to be all the character nails for a while because, oh my goodness, the time for these. This set took me another 3 days. 3 hours for just this half of the set, 3 hours for the last half, so that's a 6-hour set for the whole thing. Now, if you stay tuned to the end of this video, at the very, very tail end, I will have a picture of the entire set together. We have one blue hand and one pink hand, is what we're going to end up with. You know, I like the way the blue ones came out so much better than these. This one started off okay, and then it kind of went to heck. All right, I've cured that. We're moving on. These are going to be, that's the pink I'm using as most of the shading. Now, I had issues with this. I think it's this particular polish that's the problem, but as you'll see when I start to try to blend out the shading a little bit with alcohol, my polish started getting really grainy, and I just don't like the way it was looking. So I think in the future, when I do this kind of stuff, I'm probably just going to take some base coat, mix a little bit of whatever shading color I want to use, and get myself like a sheer kind of shading color to use for that stuff, because I think that will end up being better. That way I could layer more on top where I want it darker and whatnot, and not end up with this streaky, grainy looking stuff that I ended up with on this. But, you know, we all know what we're supposed to do in hindsight. It's the initial thing that doesn't generally go well, at least for me. I know he looks kind of weird right now, but he will look a little better. Or should I say she will look a little better. I think they're girls mostly. Who knows? Okay, this is me trying to blend this in now with alcohol on my brush. And you can see on some parts of it, as we get into these bigger parts, you'll be able to see it start getting kind of grainy and streaky. It was not liking the alcohol mixed with it. This one is not the worst of the three either. I think the Jigglypuff is the one that came out the worst. Now I used this same method for blending out my shading on the blue half of this set, and that came out okay. Now maybe it was different brand of polish I was using for those, I'm not sure at this point. I've used so many for these two. But see the top of his head, it's got like dots of stuff. It's all turning grainy now. And I don't like it. This one you can't tell as much either, but my proportions were giving me all kinds of problems. On the other two, the baby and the Jigglypuff, they're supposed to be round. They came out looking more kind of oblong. I'm struggling because they're too tall, and to get the circle part to be circle, it goes down along the curves, the side, you know how the nail curves, obviously. Well, the circle goes down those side curves, so it doesn't look circlish. It looks, you'll see when I get to the baby, it looks more like an egg than it does. Now this had a third color of the pink that I was trying to get at the bottom part of the foot and blend those together. Didn't go so well. Okay, now in between all of these different sections, I've been curing or flashing one or the other. I've edited a lot of that stuff out in favor of trying to get the video to be a little shorter. So just know in between a lot of this stuff I was flash curing or full curing depending on what I was doing. And we've moved on to the white painting gel now for these eyes. I know they're two different sizes, but that's the way they are on the finished one. Whenever I'm done messing around there, I am going to cure those, as I just said. And now we're going to do the blue part of the eyes. I've got two Beetles polishes. Those are the two colors. Okay. Now, the way I did these is I did the lighter part, and then I cured them, and then I went in with the dark, and then I tried to blend them. Now, I don't know why I did them that way, because that created more work for myself as usual that I tend to do. But what I did later on was I just put the dark at the top, the light at the bottom, and then blended them together, then cured, which is the smarter way to go. Why I did it this way for this part, I don't know. But if you guys are going to do this, I would do the second version. Polishes on there, blend them, then cure. Now, I'm adding a little bit more of the lighter blue, and I'm trying to clean the edges of this up, because I ended up with hardly any of the light blue at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going in with some base coat. Those were cured. I'm using base coat on these because there's a little splotch of white at the bottom of the eye, and I wanted it to like disperse out, so I didn't end up with just like a you know, like a line or swoosh or whatever I ended up getting on here. I didn't want that to stay like that. I wanted it to disperse out somewhat. That's why I did the base coat. Now I was going to cure those, but I wasn't happy with how the lines are still there, so I am going to take my brush here in a second and kind of blend those in a little tiny bit, not much, just a little, just right in here, because I didn't want those harsh lines to stay. It didn't disperse as much as I would have liked. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't know how I managed that in there, but moving on. Sorry for that dark spot. It's at a point where I can't edit it out now. Okay, we've done a dotting tool for the white of the eye, and now I'm going in with the mouth. I'm using the darkest of the pinks that we used for the background for this. And I will cure those as soon as I get this mouth on there. Okay, now we're ready for the black outline and all the black parts. Now mind you guys, I have sped this up to double time, and look how slow it still looks. I really am a slow painter. Okay. This is going to take a while. Now there are parts of this where I'm going to stop and flash cure, but you're probably not going to see when I do it because it's going to, the way the edit went. But just know that once I got some stuff on there that I was happy with, I was flashing it because I didn't want to lose anything if I had to wipe stuff off, which I did wipe stuff off along the way several times on some things. And I was having a lot of trouble with these, getting my lines to be thin and smooth. I was having to like start and stop so many times that a lot of my lines are kind of like herky-jerky, and I don't like that at all. I just seem to be having issues with getting a smooth line without the lines being too thick. So that's a big part of why I don't like how these came out. And secondly, there's just some things that I'm just not happy with, but it is what it is now. Definitely the next character nails I do are not going to be this complicated. I'm kind of leaning towards The Simpsons as my next try at character stuff. But that's going to be a while, so I don't know when I'm going to do that. I need a break from this character nonsense. I've been so stressed doing these, it's not even funny. The whole time I'm doing these, especially the line work on these, I'm sitting there holding my breath, so a lot of the time I was just holding my breath here. The next two sets we're going to have are going to be summary ones. I'm trying to think, what was I going to do with that next one? Hang on, let me pull up my paper. Okay. The next one, next week's, is going to be a sort of kind of tie-dye looking set with some kind of 60s daisy flowers on with that have little smiley faces in the middle. Okay, and the week after that, because next week I got to bust out 2 sets, 2 videos, everything doubled, because the following week I will be away at my parents' house. For a week, so I have to do 2 next week to stay on track. But anyway, the following one after the tie-dye one will be a summer, like hibiscus flowers on some neon colors and whatnot. So, and those will be on shorties. The second set will be on a shorty set. I always try to do a short set when I'm going away, because I can usually bust those out fairly quickly, and that way when I have to do 2 in 1 week, I can still squeeze them in without losing too much time. So you guys, I get this text from my mom just as I was about to sit down here and start my voiceover. Apparently she tripped. She was cleaning the house. She got her feet tangled up in the hose from the vacuum somehow, or the cord. It has to be the cord because she has an upright. It doesn't have a hose part. Anyway, it had to be the cord. Well, somehow she got tangled up in there with her feet, and she tripped and fell face forward, hit the floor, and they have tile, like big, like 12-inch tiles of whatever they are, I don't know, but their whole house is tiled, so of course it wasn't on carpet. I'm just clean up that little dab right there, and we're going to cure that. I think he might be done, or it might be done. Anyway, she sends me this text. I think I broke my nose. She's got, her jaw hurts, her front teeth are hurting. At the end of the text, she hits me with, and I'm starting to get a headache. So I immediately told her, you need to go to the ER. Now, I know darn well she's not going to listen. But now I got that to worry about. And my dad has dementia, so he's not capable of monitoring her, because if she has a concussion, she's not going to be able to sleep for a certain amount of time. Okay, there we are with the comparison. Not so good. Not at all happy. But it is what it is. And I forgot before I did that one that I should have put matte top on all of these for painting them. It makes it easier, supposedly. I forgot to do that with that first one, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to get matte on the rest of these. So anyway, as I was saying, my dad has dementia, so he's not going to be able to monitor her and make sure she stays awake and you know, be aware if something's wrong that he may need to call. That's the next one we're going to do. You know, he may need to call 911 or something. I don't know if he can even do that at this point. So, ay. Originally, I was supposed to be going out there this coming weekend, as in tomorrow, but I decided her birthday is the week that I am going to go out, so I decided I wanted to be out there for her birthday. She's turning 85. Instead, normally when I go out there for the summer, I can squeeze Father's Day and her birthday into the same like week, but this time they're not falling close enough together. So Dad's not even going to know if I'm there or not on Father's Day, so I'm going to, so I pushed it back a week, and I'll be going, so I'm out there for her birthday. I shudder to think what she's going to look like when I actually see her. I'm sure she's going to have black eyes, and if she broke her nose like she says she thinks she did, I mean, that's going to be a mess. I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know anymore, you guys. I can't handle this stuff. I'm going to have to, but I can't. I'm just so, I don't know. I am not ready for any of this kind of stuff to be going on. So now I got that to worry about. Anyway, so send some good vibes my way so I can pass them on to my mom. Alright, I think we've got the Jigglypuff outline done. I'm going to cure that, and then when we're ready, we're going to fill that all in too. Just like we did with the first one. Oy, oy, oy. It really sucks to get old, people. It really does. But there's no getting around it. It happens to all of us if we live that long. Now I'm not going to go over where the eyes are going to go. I think I didn't do that on the first one too, or did I? Now I don't remember already. Too many things on my mind. I can't keep track of everything anymore. And I'm just going to try to round these eyes out a little bit better than what they are. And the body. See, this is supposed to be round, but he's already he's taller than he is wide, so it doesn't look round. It looks more kind of oblong. Although this one looks rounder than the baby one that we'll get to after this. As I said at the beginning of this whole mess, that one came out, the baby one came out kind of looking like an egg rather than a round like he's supposed to. Now it's occurring to me that the two polishes I used for the pinks that I'm blending mostly with are both Makartt polishes. I'm wondering if that's why I'm having issues with them getting grainy with the alcohol. I think I could have rounded off that right side of this one a little bit more. That would have probably been better. Alright, now we're going in with the shading. I'm starting with the darkest shading color first because there were some areas of that and I wanted to get that on and then do the light on top. There wasn't as much of this dark one on here, so and there's a big hair. There's hairs all over my mat. Okay, this is the medium one. Now I did kind of blend the medium into the dark on some spots before I tried to blend out the edges. I mean, I tried. I don't know how successful I was, but I gave it a shot. Now that I just did that around, that's supposed to be one of its arms, and it's on the side of the body, but where it ended up, it kind of looks like a weirdly placed nose or something. I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm not liking it. Hey. Look at that. There's see all that glitter over my mat? That's from when I did my own nails the week before this. I'm still finding glitter all over myself, even though I've showered already a few times. I've cleaned that mat off, I thought. I just can't get rid of it. It's like burnished onto my mat, and I'm having a really hard time getting it off. On top of that, there's hairs all over the place. Okay, now I'm just trying to blend this stuff out, and it's just not going well. You'll see the blend out on this one is really bad, and it doesn't, it's just looking awfully grainy, and I'm not liking it. I don't really understand why it goes grainy like that. You would think the alcohol would just kind of dilute it off into nothing, but it doesn't seem to. This one's looking like he fell flat on his face and got all bruised up. Okay, I did cure that blended stuff in between, I believe, before I went on with the eyes. Or possibly I didn't, because I was doing the eyes, and that's not going to be in the same area, but I don't know. At this point, I've lost track, but I did do a lot of flash curing, like I said, in between stuff. Now that one is supposed to have not a totally round eye at the top inner edge because, okay, there's the eye colors again, because part of that lock of thing in the middle of his forehead was covering part of that eye. Now if I'm remembering correctly, I believe on this one I put both of the colors of blue on first, then blended them, then cured them this time, and that worked out a lot better. Now this one doesn't have the white stuff at the bottom of the eyes either, so we don't need that whole step. But yeah, see, now I'm going in with the lighter blue at the bottom. Sort of kind of blending those together. And then rounding the pupil off a little bit, or not the pupil, the iris. And cleaning that part up at the edge where I slopped over. Okay, I've cured that for sure this time, and I'm going in with the little highlight with the dotting tool. Like so. And before I cure again, now I'm putting this on for the mouth. Later on, I decided I did not like the way it looked, and I'm going to take it back off and put another one on, so you'll see that process, which was not that big a deal, but those have been cured. And now we're moving on to all the black. Now, these eyes would have came out really cute if I could have got my outline to look nice and smooth around them and not have it be all herky-jerky again. See, if I get nice smooth lines going, then they're too thick, and I don't like the way they look. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I did wipe one of these off and go again, but I may have cut that out in the interest of saving time on the video. There were some things that I did that I just hated, and I wiped off and redid. And I did not leave very many of those in here because I was trying to save some time. Now that one we don't outline all the way around because that lock of whatever that is in the middle of there is going to cover over part of that one eye. Yeah, see, I'm not liking that mouth. It's too dark, and it's too big, and it's too dark. It looks weird. Now this is the hand that's supposed to be there where that light pink is, but that's too close to the middle. And where it is now, it's still awfully close to the middle, and it looks like a weirdly placed nose. I mean, I just don't like it. You saw the picture on the card, so you know what it's supposed to look like. It just needed to be over farther to the right, but there was not enough body there for me to put it on that side. And here I'm just cleaning up some of the jerkiness around there, trying to get these to look a little nicer. I'm gonna flash this in a second. Okay, I've done that. Moving on to more outlining. I'm thinking, if I tackle the Simpsons, I'm thinking that their outlines around them are a little thicker. So I'm thinking I could get a more uniform looking line around there because I won't have to be trying to get it as thin. Hey, this is me trying to do that lock of whatever that is in the middle of here. Doesn't look the best. And once again, you can see how much turning around I'm doing of the nail on the nail stand. So doing this on a live person that they're sitting there, have to sit through all this would be a real nightmare, at least for me. Having to get them to turn their hand around constantly, I think they would not like that very much. I mean, it can be done, just somebody would have to have a lot of patience. What's weird too is how the one arm is like off the side of the body, the other one is like on the body. It's a weirdly drawn thing. I don't know. I should have just taken creative license and made it off the side edge like the other one is. think it would have looked better. Alright, I think we're ready to cure. Nope, not yet. I'm just going to clean up some of these with my brush and a little alcohol. Or nope, we got a little paint. We're going to go back in. Oh, I almost forgot to do the inner ear parts. I thought that was looking a little weird. I'm looking forward to some regular nails after these. They're going to be so much easier and nicer to do. I cannot believe how stressed this made me to do these. Okay, now he's ready to be cured. Okay, now I'm going to take that mouth off. I've got my e-file and I'm just going to buzz that right out of there because I don't like it at all. I'm trying to get some more of the black off without taking too much off of the pink, you know, the light pink. I will have to fill that back in. Oopsie. Alright, we got them back on. Now I'm just going to go over this whole center of this again with this lighter pink. And then I will try to blend those edges out a little bit into some of the other stuff so it doesn't look so weird. Whoops, now I got it on the eye. Alright, we need to clean that eye up. Cure that. And now we got to make a new mouth. Now this time I didn't use the darkest pink. I went with the medium one instead. I'm really hating that arm on there. It just is bothering me so much. I should have taken that off and put it on the outside. Okay, I've cured that, and now we're going to outline the mouth again. Okay, that's a little better. At least it's not so bright. Okay, I think we're done with that one. As good as he's going to get. That's what it's supposed to look like. Not so much. Okay, there's the baby one. Now that should have been the easiest one, and it really wasn't that hard. It's just the shape. So we got to go in with our outline again. Now, as I was doing it, I thought I had a round shape, but as I got to see as I went along, it's longer than it is tall. That's the problem. I needed to shorten it up some, then it would have looked more round. But as I've said before, I have a problem with getting my proportions or my perspective on things right. I'm not an artist in the sense that I can't just like pick up a paper and a pencil and just draw something out of my head. I have to have something to look at that I can try to recreate or copy. Now my daughter, on the other hand, she can just draw whatever or paint whatever just out of her head without needing references. I wish I had that, but I don't know. Maybe I could learn how to do that better if I really put the effort in, and maybe at some point I'll take some kind of a painting class or something. I did take a drawing class in college briefly because I was looking for something to break up my serious classes at the time. Okay, there's the baby outline. We're going to cure that and then we're good to go. And as usual, we're going to fill this whole thing in with the pink, the lightest one. Anyway, but the kind of drawing that we did in that class was not really it wasn't really, well, it wasn't figure drawing at all. It was just, you know, we had items to look at that we had to kind of recreate and draw, and that's how what I learned how to do. But as far as proportion and perspective, I didn't get very much of that from that particular class. Maybe someday I will sit and try to do another class like that. If my daughter didn't live so far away, I could have her teach me how to do a lot of that stuff. But she lives in Arizona, and that's about a 6.5 to 7 hour drive from here. And frankly, I haven't seen her in a couple years now. They didn't come down this last Christmas. That's usually when I see her, at Christmas time. But anyway, moving on. I know I'm just throwing random stuff in here, but kind of running out of things to talk about. There's not that much, so now I'm out of shot. There's not that much to talk about with these now, because you guys have seen me doing them. They're pretty much all done the same way. Now the difference with this guy too, besides the fact that I didn't get him round enough, he doesn't have blue eyes. This one has brown eyes. Now, I thought that was really weird. Why they made the baby with brown eyes and the two adults with blue, I didn't really get that, but that's the way it was, so that's what I did. Hey, when he's upside down like that, he kind of looks like an alien. Alright, we've cured him. Moving on. The little bit of shading that's going to be on this one. Now, frankly, if I had just used less polish on my brush for this part and just gently put it on there, I probably didn't need to do any blending in, because those colors don't look that bad. Because I'm going to have the same problem. Not as badly with this, because I didn't put as much polish on this one as I did on that last one. So I didn't get as much graininess happening. Okay, I've cured that, and now we're moving on to, this is the color I've picked out for the eyes. Oh, and you guys might have noticed my wrists. I've got my clown cuffs on again, as I call them. Seeing as how it's been so hot, as I'm sitting there working on stuff, I've got sweat running out of my gloves, down my arm, and dripping off my elbow, either onto my lap or the floor. So that's why those are on there, for those of you that are new and haven't been with me through the hot summer yet. That's why I have those on there. It collects up the sweat. I know it's gross, but better that than dripping on my lap or the floor. And with my luck, I get it on the floor, I'll stand up and step in it and slip. Okay, going on with his little mouth. Him, her, it. The little mouth that it has on going on. And then we will cure that all together. Okay, now the pupils. This one has big black pupils, so I'm using the dotting tool and just kind of widening the circle out with the dotting tool, just to give it a little bit bigger. And I'll cure those. And also with the dotting tool, we're going to put the white highlight on. And there we go. That one almost looks cute right there. Okay, and we'll start the outline process. There's one. I didn't like that one apparently, so now I guess I left that one in there, but also bear in mind that this is sped up to double time, so even though it looks like I'm going very slowly, I was going much slower than that in real actuality. Okay, I think we got the eyes. Now we gotta do the mouth. Okay, now I'm either gonna flash or I'm gonna cure those or not. Maybe not. Oh wait, we got a little cleanup to do first. Clean up that little spudgy bit. Oh, maybe I didn't flash those. I guess I didn't. I guess I just went for it. Doesn't help that I'm out of shot half the time either. Oh boy. I swear this set would like to have killed me. I think this one would have turned out really cute if he wasn't quite so egg-shaped. I definitely have been looking at the character nails in a whole new light now since I've done these. And we're just going to clean up some of that nonsense where I slopped over. And I know the feet are two different lengths. That's the way they were in the picture. Maybe not quite that bad, but somewhat. We're almost there, guys. We're almost done. All right. I think, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I gotta do that little swirly bit in the middle. There we go. I'll see, he's got that other weird arm on the side like that too. Except for his doesn't look like a nose. It's off to the side far enough, I think. Okay, I think we're done. Yes? No? What are we doing? Oh, nope, something else. Oh, I'm cleaning up some more mess. Little bit of stuff in there. I wanted that to be more roundy looking, and it had some pointy sections on there. Okay, now I've cured that one. We're done. Moving on. This is the moonstone that they all need to evolve. So that is what we're going to do now, and this is going to go fairly quickly here. This was the easiest of the whole well, the next to the easiest of the whole process. I'm just going to get my outline on there like we've been doing, only this time I'm not going to cure it. I'm going to just continue on with that same color because part of that goes in here. These kind of greens, grayish greens, are for the moonstone. So I'm just going to get some sections of it on here. I really wasn't looking at the picture anymore at this point. Okay, then we're going in with this color next. This is the lightest, I think. I'm just splodging them on here wherever in little sections. There's one more color that's going to go. This one going to go on the rest of that area. And I haven't cured these in between. I wasn't really caring if they kind of mixed together a little bit. It's a rock, so it doesn't have to be precise. Okay, now I did cure that now. Now I've got this darkest color of those same ones, these mud gels. And I'm just going to go in with the inside lines. Don't worry about that blob. I'm going to fix that in a minute here. Trying to make this look like a rock. I should say a pixelated rock because it's kind of what it is, I guess. Yeah, now I'll smooth out those lumps that are on there. Now I did not outline each separate segment, I don't think. Maybe I ended up finally doing that. Okay, the outside outline, it hasn't been cured yet. I'm just going to go ahead in with my outside outline since it's not going to really touch any of that other part where it will make a difference. Now this one, I was able to have nice smoother lines because I wasn't concerned with them being super thin. So you can see how much better it looks when they're smooth like that. Okay, there we are, cured it. Now this I forgot to hit record. All I did was use my dotting tool for the dots and then made the little sticks and then did some little flags on top of them. Okay, now we're going in. I'm using my tempered top coat to go over these with the first coat, as I like to have the hard top underneath the matte because the matte top is a soft top coat and sometimes stuff seems to go through it. On top of which I've also occasionally had issues with it peeling a little. Oh, that one, I just hate that one so much right there. That bothers me so bad. If I had more time, I would probably redo that middle one. This one's not the greatest either. Alright, anyway, no more negativity. Okay, we're going to cure this here. That's what they would look like if we left them shiny. And now we're going back over with the matte top, and this is the last step. We will be done after this. Woohoo! I didn't quite get as variegated of a background color as I wanted for these either. They kind of tended to mush together a little bit more than I would like. I think the blue ones just came out better all the way around. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, and in they go, or not. Oh, must have had something on that. There we go. Now we're done with them. That's what they look like finished. I don't like them that much, but if you guys like them, please give me a like. I really worked hard on these. And if you guys want to see more, I do upload a new video every Saturday. And coming up, here's what the finished full set looks like with both of them together. I hope you guys like them. I'll see you guys next time with definitely some easier ones and a shorter video. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.